Williams Gizmo, 1948. If you've never seen the inside of a pinball machine, this is something that you won't see ever again. 1948, there wasn't a whole lot to these things. In fact, here's inside the bottom of the cabinet. This almost looks like a bingo machine because there's nothing down here. There's your main connector from your harness to the Playfield. That's the bottom of your Playfield. That's it, man. Check that out. Impulse flipper relay. And this is your one flipper coil. Games now have, bare minimum two. One for your right, one for your left. Sometimes more if you have multiple flippers. But this, take a look at how they're linked together. There's 4 flippers on this, but they're all run off of this one coil. There's the bottom of 1. 2. This is technically the bottom of the Playfield here, up and closer to the ceiling here. But that link also goes up this way. Runs underneath this relay bank. There's another one. And your 4th. So when you push the button, your flipper button, either one now, it doesn't matter because it's one coil. It's going to pulse this. That's it. And I've pointed out in other videos there are 5 kick-out holes. So look, you've got 1, 2, 3. There's another one under here, I don't know if you can see. 4 and 5. There's the 5th one right here in the center. And those all operate off of this one coil. So on the other side, that guy right there, it's a kick-out hole. So your ball lands in it, scores whatever points it's going to give you. And when it's done with that cycle, the little arm flings it out. But there's no score motor in here. There's really nothing. The front of your cabinet here, keep in mind, there'll be a coin slide here. You slide your nickel in. I'll have that set up in another video. And when you press that coin slide in, the back side of that lever shoves this down. Look at all the stuff that happens at once. Start the game. Your balls, all 5 balls that sit in this little trough on the other side, the bottom of the Playfield. It opens that, so it drops the balls down into a trough, which I have taken out for right now. Okay. And also when you push that in, there's no reset coil for your coil bank. You're doing it yourself. You're pushing this in, raise that lever, resets all your relays here. I can't get my finger in there. Let's see. So if you were to trip one, like let's say, you know, the numbers doesn't matter. Just randomly as you hit targets, you're tripping different switches. So when that game is reset, look, you go push that, you're pushing that lever in, and it's going, shoving it up, boom, that's it. Whole thing at once. Nothing to it. And this, there's your score motor. 2 levels of cams. And that's it. Very, very minimal. Here's another relay bank over here. Before we walk around, I'll show you the inside of the cabinet. The tilt bob, you can adjust this cone. And when any part of this makes contact with the inside of that ring, it shorts it out and you lose your game. That just means you're being a little too violent. And you can adjust that amount of violence. I've got the original backdoor key. That one little switch there, it's a slam tilt. It's like a kick tilt. And in this game, it's probably your off switch. I don't have a schematic yet, but so I need to find out. But most of the times that was your off. And you would literally kick the bottom of the machine. You'd kick it or smack it, and that weight, this is the weight on here, this would move just enough to raise that switch. You'd kill your game. There was no on and off switch, because that was also a little trick for, you know, your people in the arcades that want to get violent with your games. Go ahead and kick my game, but now you lose it. So take you that. I'm going to take you back around to this back box, which is what we're going to get into next. Not a whole lot going on. These are score lights instead of reels. You know, the clack 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 crap that's on most electromechanical games. This is even prior to that. This just has lights that light up different scores, thousands, you know, 100,000s, millions, and it might light a 100,000 light, a 90,000 light, and then a 3,000 light. So you add this up, it's 193,000. It's real simple. But there's your credits, how many games are on the machine, your ding ding, that could be a dong, another bell. So in most cases, this is here's your switch impulses, 10,000 unit when circuit is completed through fingers. So as this coil fires, this thing would go, and it spins around just a tooth every time. And by doing that, the way the switch, the fingers on the the spider on the back light up, it's basically rewiring itself and lighting different scores as you go. So, same deal here. This is pulse up, and this would be a reset. That would pull in at the start of every game. So, yeah, it's a little gummed up, and that's why we're going to go through it. And come all the way around. And this little finger here will come all the way around and then push this switch so it's closed, so it can't pulse anymore. This spring is a little tweaked, but we'll see if that makes a difference or not. So we'll reset it. Takes it back. Now both those switches are closed right now. These are switches. So watch. We go ting, ting, ting. Now they're both open. Yeah, so that's what I meant. Is this just to let it know that it's back zeroed out. We'll go through all that, but we're going to come back here and we're going to clean all this up. Just a little tidbit of advice while I'm here. I'm going to show this in a different video altogether. Those of you that go and buy a pinball machine, the game was not built as one piece. These older ones come apart. All of them, whether it be, this is the 1976 Valley Old Chicago. This is called the back box. This comes off. A 68 Domino, that comes off. The newer games, a lot of the solid state and the dot matrix, that on up, those back boxes actually fold down. You don't undo any wires, but it's gonna vary game to game. But with this, I'm just gonna show you. This one has 2 bolts. Some have 3. There's screws. Most have 4. These 2 bolts. And this is one of the simplest games you're gonna see. This right here. Do not cut these wires. There was a way that they put these together. They were thinking ahead, that you wouldn't have to cut the damn wires, people. I see quite a few games like that where, yeah, I don't know how to get this off, so I'm just going to cut the thing. I know you don't know, but that's what I'm showing you. Check this out. I know it looks different, but these are called Jones plugs. You just give it a little wiggle here, little wiggle here, little wiggle here. Look at this. Oh, magic. Yes! These come out. This is so you can do exactly what you want to do. Okay, you want to make sure that this part here, this is called the bake light. You want to make sure that doesn't crack. You know, then you're going to be in a world of hurt, or at least a lot more work if that breaks. And this little one here too. See, this is part of a 2 Jones plug harness. Watch this, little wiggle. It pops out. I didn't even have to cut anything. Sweet. So that's how you do that. Okay, do not cut the wires. You cut the wire, I will come over there and I will slap you. But look at this. Now, some of these, if you have to put it back together, you may have 4 or 5, 8 of these things. If you're not real sure, most of them are set up to have the correct amount of males to fit in the correct amount of females. This one's real easy because you have a big one and a little one. I don't even need to see if this will go here or this one. It's obvious. And depending on how this harness lays, this wire tends to get a memory to it over the years. So it'll kind of fall into place by looking at it about where these things need to go. So if you're not sure, see how the wires hang off the end of this? If this were upside down, you can't fit it because you've got this metal stopper, or that this is actually the mount, but they purposely put it like this. So when you push it up, you set it in there, it's lined up right about where it needs to go. Don't set it here, because I mean the actual plug sizes are all the same and it will fit. Just slide it up there, get a little push in, back and forth. I would recommend cleaning both ends of that off. You know, clean off all these little pins with some fine sandpaper. We're going to get into that here in a minute. But just give it a little push in there. And that's it, my friend. You're good to go. In this game, here's your transformer. Like I said, your credit, your scoring wheels. Real simple game. Your fuse blocks. On newer games, you can actually program what you want. How many balls, what kind of game you want it to be. That's all done through programming. These older games had programming too, but you know, very little. Here's your programming. Here's a Jones plug that is set up. This tag here says replay or novelty. That means if you get a certain feature or a certain score, you're gonna hear that bang of the knocker and you'll get a replay. Or if you're a stingy bar owner or operator and you don't want to lose that dime or that nickel, nobody's getting replays, you just stick it on novelty. Replay is cool because I like to achieve stuff and hear that knocker. So there's your fuses, Jones plugs we talked about. Here's your ding ding coil. Fancy, huh? Ding ding ding. That one's there, it's bigger, that's for a bigger dong. These older games had service plugs, service outlets. Basically you could plug in a light, so to speak, you know, instead of working with just a little handheld flashlight. You know, now we have so many cordless tools and lights and everything else, there's really no need for that. But that's about it on this one. I'm gonna have a video up next of going through the mechanicals on this back box. While we're here, this lever here, try and do this one hand. It swings around, this comes down. Oh yeah, sounds like a creepy movie. There's the back of your back glass. There's all your light bulbs. That's how you change your lights. You can see still from back here that back glass is excellent condition. So that's all I got on this little short one. So I just wanted to show you guys that as far as how simplistic the insides of these some of these old Playfields and everything are. And the cabinets, there's not a whole lot to them. So unless it's got missing parts, there's really no reason that we can't fix this. Alright, so stay tuned for the next one and I'll catch you then. Thanks again for watching. See you later.